and peace to you, Asad.
Salam. We're back again. As I continue from my last live stream with my spouse, what will we bore mankind with today?
Well, we got something interesting. Like we were talking about earlier, one of the most ignored figures, Abraham, and two of the most contentious figures, Muhammad and Jesus.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what.
by the way, you got it flipped around. It should be Abraham, Jesus, and Muhammad,
Oh, so let me
not
fix it.
Abraham, Muhammad, and Jesus. You can't fix it now.
I I think
I
we
mean,
can.
I'm saying from the sequence, yeah, not that one, you can put it any which way, but Abraham came, then Jesus came, then Muhammad came, yeah.
Yep, you're right.
I mean, it doesn't matter, just from a aspect of, how do you say, the chronology, yeah. The
Yeah,
chronology is Abraham, Jesus, and Muhammad, yeah.
it's funny you said that because I'll just tell you what I was thinking when I was writing this. I was thinking, okay, because they say Muhammad is the last messenger. Probably that's why my programming kicked in and I moved him.
Well, I
But
mean, Jesus is going to come, so you can put that, that's the future, yeah. You look at it from the future, sure. This is
yeah.
the way it's going to be as well.
But isn't it weird that Jesus, when he's returning, I mean, who would be the last messenger standing on the earth today?
The one before the earth is destroyed.
Yeah, yeah. Who
That's
would?
all I can tell you. I mean, probably Jesus. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, growing up, we've never heard about Abraham. We've heard you call Abraham your father, leader of the believers, and yet no one talks about Abraham. Shun, 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 ignore, 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 and it's always either Jesus or Muhammad. So tell us about what God has taught you through the book about Abraham.
I mean, they do speak about Abraham as tacit, a tacit reference to him. Just like, oh, yeah, we're all Abrahamic religions.
Hmm.
These are the three Abrahamic religions. It's not just Jesus and Muhammad. Moses also is obviously amongst the contentious ones on the earth today. Like they fight amongst themselves between Moses, Muhammad, and Jesus, and separating themselves under the flag of either Muhammad or Jesus or Moses himself. Yeah, I mean that's how they're separated on the earth, other than the Buddhists and the Hindus and the Sikhs and the other atheists. The vast majority are under these three flags. Yeah, of course, the Moses flag is followed by the least of these three groups, as far as we can see, right? So it isn't that these two are the most contentious. There's so many other contentious beings as well that they fight about. But yeah, in the seen world of the Abrahamic so-called religions, Muhammad, Jesus, and Moses are the most talked about and the most contentious, I would say, and also the most controversial for how people have understood their teachings or
What
have.
can we say? Misinformed about them, most
Yeah, I
misinformed
mean,
people.
inform is, yeah, well, they inform from the misinformation their ancestors brought about.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, obviously it's all misinformation, and I would suggest that the Jews and the Christians are far less liable for their mistakes than those who call themselves Muslims today. Absolutely, this is the absolute judgment. It will not be pushed back. Yeah, because they are caught in a maelstrom of deception, delusion, and mutilation of the truth. And their original truths have also been mutilated, diluted, hidden, yeah, massacred in some instances. Whereas the so called Muslims who are not Muslims, their truth has been mutilated, diluted, changed, has been covered with lies, and but the actual truth is still intact, absolutely, which is the Quran. And the other truths that I was saying that have been diluted are obviously the Torah and the so-called Bible, which is the Injil, which came to Jesus. So obviously, if you hold everything equal, the ones who hold the Quran are the most liable to be brought up on charges which they cannot have any excuse against. I mean, if you bring up a Christian in front of God and he only knows the Bible, I mean, he can stand and say to God, my Bible says that Jesus is Son of God, because it does. Does it not today?
Mm.
The Bible they have today, obviously, which is wrong. It has been destroyed. But the people who hold the Quran and then they say Muhammad is the highest of the messengers, where are they going to stand in front of God? And he is the leader of all the messengers. Where are they going to stand in front of God with the Quran in their hands? Nothing except over the fire, and in it they will go, or in her they will go. So you have to understand that everyone will be judged with the truth brought to him or her. And these people think that because they have the Quran and they call themselves Muslims, that they are somehow salvaged. Their salvation has been achieved by just that fact that they hold the Quran. I mean, this is the farthest thing from the truth that you can ever imagine. I mean, more absurd things have not yet been invented. So this is the situation you're on. So now if you go back to Abraham, I mean, let's start with who Abraham is. I mean, Abraham is the highest man to have ever lived amongst mankind, from mankind. He is the highest man. If you gave me a choice and you said one man, who would that be? It's Abraham. There's no two things about it. And the Quran corroborates that with absolute certainty. It's not Muhammad. It's not Jesus. It's not Moses. It ain't Noah. It ain't Adam. It's Abraham. He is the highest man. Amongst the highest men, which I already named, these are all highest men from mankind, Muhammad, and they're not lowly people that they make them, and they're not gods that they make them. I mean, they make them the highest, i.e., gods from their minds, or they make them lowly, like, oh, he's a pedophile, or he's a warlord, he's a cutthroat, he is like vicious, and all this nonsense they say about Muhammad. It's all nonsense. And the nonsense is about Jesus, that he's the Son of God, he's God himself, he is the Word. The Word was there before everything else, just like they say about Muhammad's soul was there trapped somewhere before any other. I mean, like all nonsense. I mean, total garbage. This you brought this to me, like Muhammad's soul. I never heard of that one until you brought it to me. That they say Muhammad's soul was specially placed in a little bottle there. Yeah, he was kept specially for the last. You know, I mean, this is all nonsense. So, who is Abraham? Coming back to our original thought here. So, Abraham is the leader to mankind amongst other leaders to mankind. He's not the only leader to mankind, but he is the leader to literally all of mankind. And he is the father of all those who believe and the believers after him. Anyone who is a believer or is of those who believe is a son of Abraham. And I can tell you for sure, with absolute surety, that I am a son of Abraham because I'm a believer. And I'm certainly of those who believe. And so is my brother Muhammad. And so is my brother Messiah Jesus. And so is my brother Moses and Aaron and David and Solomon and Jonah and Joseph and Isaac and Jacob and Ishmael and everyone else who came from after Abraham and is happens to be of those who believe. Now, to be of those who believe, you must unequivocally, absolutely, with absolute certainty, believe the Quran. Otherwise, you're lost. You cannot be of those who believe. And you certainly cannot be of the believers, which are higher than those who believe. So that's Abraham at that point. And then he's also the friend of God. God took him as a friend. God took Abraham as his friend. I don't see anyone else called a friend by God except Abraham. If you can find that in the Quran, you can bring it to me.
I couldn't find it.
Then you try harder. You might find it somewhere in
No,
some corner.
no, not happening.
Some corner somewhere. There's another guy. God will say he took him as his friend. Yeah.
No.
So I know for sure he's a friend of God. And Abraham himself said to God that surely one who follows me is from me. That's what Abraham said. And one who disobeys me, but surely you forgiving, merciful. So he's asked forgiveness for those who disobey him. What kind of a messenger is that? A prophet.
Beautiful.
Although in the Quran, having said that, there's no absolute direct corroboration that Abraham is a messenger of God. There's absolute clarity that he's a prophet, but you can infer that he's also a messenger. But there's no, if I ask you to prove directly from the Quran that he's also a messenger of God, I won't be able to. But here he is. So he's that's what he is. And the book and the wisdom was bestowed upon him. That book is no longer available to mankind today. And then all those below him are his followers, down to me today. I'm one of his followers, and I'm just like Muhammad, more like Muhammad than Jesus and Moses in the way I follow him, because I follow the Quran. And Muhammad follows Jesus, and Jesus follows Abraham, and he is the son of Abraham. Messiah Jesus is the son of Abraham. Muhammad is the son of Abraham. I am the son of Abraham. And so are all the others before them after Abraham. So that's what Abraham is in a nutshell. And he is one of the greatest men to have ever lived. And he's probably still alive in the unseen, as far as I can tell. So, any other bifurcation? I mean, there's so much in the book that you can talk about that
Yeah,
we spend days talking about Abraham here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most pertinent thing probably would be what he said to his father. If you want me to pull that up,
Yeah, you can bring it. We can look into that. It's the one in chapter
6.
19. There's one in 19 as well where Mary, and one in 16.
Yeah, I,
Which
one
one are
that
you referring to his
uh,
father?
I was the one in chapter 6, I think.
What does he say to his father in that,
Uh,
in what the one you're thinking about?
yeah, he actually, I could tell you directly because my glasses are creating a problem for me, so I'll use this. But it was, sorry about that. I should have prepared this before.
I mean, if you can tell me what he said to his father, more or less, I can find out where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying first he was looking at the moon and the
Okay, but
star.
that's not to his father. That's just his. That's not what he's saying to his father there. Yeah.
Okay,
That
then.
is what happened to him. Okay, let me bring that up. I'll bring it up. Hold on a
Okay.
second. I will bring this up as wishes the Lord.
And I don't know why my screen has gone weird. Oh, why?
Weird.
Yeah, it's like my Quran screen has gone weird. It's blown up. I'm trying to minimize it and I cannot.
Okay, let's see if I can get here. Uh, okay, here it is. So he said his to his father something, yeah, that there, but not the whole thing that you're talking about is how he discovered God, yeah, how he stopped
Yeah.
partnering. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
let me share this.
Yeah.
I'll share it. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I'll bring this up. This time it's going to work, not like last time. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because it
tell
opens
me,
another
tell
tab.
me if you can see it clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
This
see
is
it.
the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here it starts with how Abraham said to his father. Yeah. His name was Azara, which is Azar in English. Yeah. And the
Hmm.
people are named Azar today, if you
Hmm.
look around. Yeah. So, and behold, said Abraham to his father Azar, are you taking idols, gods? Surely I see you and your people in a strainous glare. So, this is what he said. So now, and like that, we showed Abraham kingship of heavens and the earths, and to his being from the assured. So this is how Abraham learned about not to partner with God. Yeah, he said that obviously after he was sure, yeah, maybe before, but like to figure out exactly this is how God showed who Abraham's Lord is and how the kingship of the heavens and the earth work. Yeah, so but when covered over him the night saw a star, he said, "This my Lord." So look at this. Abraham is looking at the star, and this is my Lord. Yeah, look. So he's at a low level of faith at this point. But when went down, he said, "Not I love the falling." So he sees that the star goes away. So yeah, that can't be my Lord. Yeah. But when saw the moon rising, he said, "This my Lord." But when fell, he said, "If not, he guides me, my Lord, to my surely being from the people." So this time he's like, I'm not I love the falling. This time, say, oh, I'm astray still. So if God doesn't guide me, I'm going to be from the stray. Yeah. But when
Beautiful.
saw the sun rising, now he sees the sun rising. He said, "This, my Lord, this bigger." So he's still lost. Yeah. He's still lost in his delusions. Yeah. But when she fell, he said, "O my people, surely I free from what you partner." So look at people worshipping stars, the astrologists, numerologists. Yeah. Look at the people worshipping the moon. Yeah. The moon has their it guides their emotions and all nonsense. Yeah. And look at the people worshipping the sun, all these astronomers. All are captured here. Yeah. In
Yeah.
three signs of God, they're all captured, and Abraham had to go through those hoops to get out the other side. And then he says to them, "O my people, I free from what you partner. Surely I face my face to the one who originated the heavens and the earths truly, and not I from the partnering." So this is what he turned to his people like, look at me, I've done more or less the same thing as this. If you
Mm.
look over the years, yeah, those who have witnessed me have seen this kind of a thing go through my striving and struggle against my soul
Yep.
to come to this understanding. Yeah. So you want to continue here, or you want to talk about this? You want to continue further?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit. It
Okay.
just picked up
Yeah.
steam.
So then when he tells his people this, like, they turn around and say, "Are you a joker or something?" Yeah. So
Yeah.
and contended him his people. So they contended him by calling him crazy, lost, deluded, all that stuff. Like they
Just
said,
like
you
what they're
all
doing to you right now,
everyone. I mean, I'm no
or
special person.
the
It's
ones
not
on the
my
show.
special privilege to be called a moron and deluded. It's not my special privilege. All my fathers before me and my brothers were all given the same privilege and honor. Yeah. I mean, we are all honored with the same treatment that is given to our father, the big father. Yeah. The patriarch. Yeah. They don't like a patriarchal, how do you say, patriarchal society?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
My
patriarchal or patriarchal
patriarchal. Yeah.
society. Well, go to hell then. Okay. Because that's the way God has set it up. You women, you can go on running to hell now because you are lower than the men in general. There's the exception, like my mother, Mary. Yeah, I call her my mother, obviously. I mean, she's one of our mothers.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mary, she is the exception. There's the exception to prove the rule. Yeah, every time there's an exception, it proves the rule. Oh, look, you're lying because Mary. Yeah, that's the exception that proves the rule, morons.
So when the Christians say Mother Mary, they're right.
She's the mother of Jesus, and
Yeah,
Jesus is my brother, so she's my mother.
that is true.
I mean, it's a parable. She's not my mother. I
Mm,
mean, she's my sister as well.
mm.
And she's a sister of Jesus as well as his mother physically. Under Abraham, we're all brothers and sisters from mankind, who are those who believe and the believers. We're all brothers and sisters. We fight with each other a lot, by the way. We argue and fight with each other a lot. The messengers, not so much, but the believers, so much. Yeah. Anyway, so he says to his people, "Are you absolutely surely contending me in the God and has guided me?" So he turns around and says, "Who the hell are you guys? What are you contending me and God guides me? And not I fear what you partner with him, except that he wishes, my Lord, a thing. Encompasses my Lord everything knowledge. Will but not you. You remember. No, they won't remember. Just like they didn't remember then, they don't remember now either. And then he says, and how can I fear what you partner? And not you fear. Surely you partner with the God, what not he sends down with over you authority. And he laughs probably when he says, just like me. Yeah? I mean, like, what kind of bollocks are you telling me? Yeah? I mean, I don't fear. I mean, you don't fear that you're partnering. How can I fear what you partner if you don't fear partnering with God? Yeah. But which of the two groups in truth with security? If you are, you knowing. So he's putting questions to them, which they have no answer to, obviously. And then he answers them, which I've already answered. Those who believe and not they wrap their faith with wrongdoing. Those, to them the security, and they guided. And these, our contentions, we brought them Abraham over his people. We raise ranks one, we surely your Lord wise, knowledgeable. So who are these people who are raising ranks and they're saying surely your Lord wise? Not so. I mean, who are these guys that raise ranks other than God and bring
Sure.
contentions to us? Huh?
Angels,
Really? Yeah, obviously the spirit
the
above
spirit.
everyone and
Yeah.
the angels under God. So, you have to understand what's going on here. They are the ones who guide us with the will of God, yeah, the spirit primarily. So, look at this, huh? Those who believe. Now, oh, so I believe God exists. You don't believe anything. Don't tell me you believe God exists until you submit to the Quran, which means submit to what I tell you from the Quran. And I submit to what you tell me from the Quran. Otherwise, you don't believe Jack. All right? Go on your way to hell. You don't believe Jack. And then when you read the Quran and then you turn away from it as if you did not read it or hadn't been told about it, oh, wait for the punishment. It's coming. It's
Hmm.
coming. I'm telling you. So what
That.
is of those who believe? So what we talked about is last time, yeah. So those who believe, not the believers, by the way. You
Hmm.
have to separate the Muslims from those who believe, from the believers, from the warners and the informers, from the witnesses, from the knowing, from the prophets, from the. You have to separate. These are different ranks and different steps to the top, which is the messenger. The top step, which we can get to, is to be a messenger of the God. So let's just look at those who believe. Those who believe with this book, the Quran. They covenant with this book and they believe with God and his angels and his books and his messengers. And we separate between none of his messengers. We do not separate between anyone from his messengers. And we listen and we obey, and our end is to the God and we ask his forgiveness. I mean, this is not exactly what's written. I'm just giving you a parable or a paraphrasing of the faith, but it covers literally all of the faith there. Yeah, what you need to do to become of those who believe. So that's fundamentally the faith that you must have to believe. You must believe this Quran today. After the Quran came, no one can be of those who believe if they do not believe the Quran. They say no one can be of those who believe who don't believe Muhammad. Nonsense. Muhammad isn't here. Quran is here. And I am here. So you must believe the Quran and me. Otherwise, you're going to hell. Oh, but that's so presumptuous. That's quite egotistical that, like, you're the only one. I mean, what about the rest of us? Yeah, you're riffraff, the rest of you, unless you believe, and then I'll give you some mercy. But these days, I'm not too open to that because I don't see anyone believing properly. And I'm not going to give you any kind of benefit of doubt anymore, which I did for a decade and a half. That's not coming to anyone. Oh, that's really bad. Well, too bad for you. I've been saying it for 15 years. Nobody's answered. So if you answer now, I'm going to be really skeptical because the end of you is coming as well. So you see how this works. See how this works. So this is what he said. So
I mean,
what
my
more do you want?
question would be, uh, they want to choose who's going to be a messenger of God. Who chose this guy? He was chosen by God. I
Yeah.
mean, all of them are chosen by God. When did God give a choice to the mankind to choose who's going to be the Messiah, who's going to be the messenger? And
Yeah.
when it is decided, it just burns their
Yep.
bottoms.
Rear ends, correct.
Yeah,
Their
it
egos
burns.
are busted because we have gold. Look, we have land.
They have
Look,
shit.
look. We made these buildings, we made the technology, we made all these ships and the what did he make? What did Abraham? He just told us to believe God exists. And he can't even prove that he exists to us. He just says believe. What kind of nonsense is that? This is how they see it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind this is how they see it. And they will continue to see it until the death comes to them. And then they will really see it. And by it, I mean the fire. And they will
Mm,
burn in hell. So, yeah, I mean, this idea that you have a choice when the messenger of God comes, and that if you choose that he's not, then he's not the messenger of God because all of you say he isn't, which is what everybody does when a messenger comes. I mean, there's no secret in the book of God. Any book of God, I mean, take the Torah, take the Bible, take the Quran, or any other book that you can find in tatters, and figure out that when that one guy comes, and the stories are that one guy comes and they make stories, and in the end, he's right, yeah, in their
mm,
fables as well, in their fairy
mm.
tales. But in real life, it can't be, yeah. No, this is just for our fairy tales. In real life, we all have to be right in the sense that we all have to believe the same thing for it to be right. Yeah, and if this one guy comes and tells us that no, you're all wrong, he needs to go to the insane asylum. Yeah, he
Yeah,
needs
and they
some
and they say the same
psychedelic.
thing about them to you, which is like an oxymoron. That no, we are right. You have to
Yeah,
listen to
exactly.
us.
Yeah. When you tell me I'm not the messenger of God, then you must be the messenger of God. I mean, like, how else can it be right?
How can you judge? Yeah.
How can you judge that I'm not a messenger of God if you're not a messenger of God? And
Mm,
you say you don't even judge, but you tell me I'm not a messenger of God. So where is that judgment coming from? Did
mm,
God tell you this? Did God inspire to you that He's not sending any more messengers? Or
mm.
have you inspired that to yourself? Or has God inspired it to you because you want it to be that way? These are
Yesterday
all
you
true
talked.
things.
Yesterday you did mention that they want to choose the messenger and then make him the doll that they want, so they can go
Mhm.
about doing whatever that they want to do. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
God snuffs them. He sends the real messenger, and then he tells them you're wrong, and then they hate it.
Oh, yeah. They
I,
hate the messenger because they hate God in actuality. You're not really hating the messenger. First of all, you're hating your soul more than God hates you when you're rejecting. It's all written, and it's the truth, whether you perceive it or not,
Hmm,
because you will not, because you have no clue of what's going on. The people that are running around thinking they are the arbiters of truth on the earth, and that, these scientific people, particularly, especially with what's going on with these medical interventions that are going on the earth, and they make you believe as if you're killing everyone by breathing. I mean, like, that is the most absurd thing you can ever invent and expect people to believe it. I mean, the most absurd thing that you could ever imagine is that you must stop breathing or you must cover your mouth, otherwise you're killing people. I mean, it's insanity. The level of insanity cannot be perceived by these words. You have to understand what I'm saying to understand the level of insanity this is. And people is running around as if this is the truth, the God sent truth, and they quote the Bible, love thy neighbor by covering your face up and not breathing. Okay, so you want me to kill myself to love my neighbor? I see.
hmm.
I
And the
see the
other things
point.
that the Bible will say, they will just disregard that.
No, because that's against what they want. Yeah, I mean, you have
Hmm,
to understand. And then the Quran says in a place, I think it's chapter 2, one of the places where you were the fighting you people. Yeah, and the one who believes with some of the book and rejects with some of the book, they are going to hell, and their end will be humiliation in the life of the world and severe punishment hereafter. This is what's going to happen to those who believe with parts of the book and reject with parts of it. I believe with all of it, even if I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand the whole book. I can't explain to you the whole book, but I can explain all of it, basically. I mean, I don't have to know every little secret of the book to be a messenger of God. I don't know what's going to happen to me or you tomorrow or today. I don't know when the punishment will come. So then you can't be the messenger, right? I mean, like, what the hell is that? I mean, even Jesus is supposed to have told them, only the Lord, only I mean, I'm not going to say that. Only God knows the hour. I don't know it. So what? I mean, like, part of God didn't know it, and the other part knew it. What are you talking about? I mean, like, nonsense. It's a level of nonsense that only the most highly destitute of intellect can understand to be true. The rest was it. BS. This is bollocks. This is total nonsense. And that's what it is. But they made them fall for it, just like they made them fall for whatever Muhammad is supposed to have said. And once you've fallen for a belief, you're trapped. You're trapped by that belief. I'm trapped. When they say I'm free, that's the biggest liar. The only one who's free is God, okay? None of the others are free. None of you, and not me or anyone else or Abraham, nobody is free. Yeah? You are trapped in the belief you're in. Yeah? You're trapped where you are free. Think about it. Think about this. You are trapped where you are free. So you're trapped in your house. You're free to move around, but you can't leave if the doors are locked and there's no exit. Yeah. Fundamentally, that's where we are. We are trapped here. Nobody's free here. And they pretend to have left. I love this now. They pretend that they have left the earth. And they show you these pictures from all over, showing you all sorts of beautiful, fantastical, imaginary things. Yeah. They want your imagination to run wild. And they tell
Oh,
you this as well.
yeah. So wild that they will tell you these are astronauts.
Thoughts, yeah. and, and
Astronauts.
and they're showing you all these pictures of stars and galaxies being created and stars
Everyone's
giving birth. And when you ask them, how do you get this picture? Oh, well, it's a process of interpretation. While if I interpret this book, oh no, no, that's your interpretation. But you'll believe the morons who are showing you these beautiful pictures while they interpret it. They don't see it. Nobody's pictured any of this. You can go ask them.
Hmm.
They're all interpretations or simulations of what they think is out there through their x-rays and red shift and blue shift and whatever shift they do. I don't even understand that. I don't need to understand. It's nonsense. So it's all garbage. They haven't left. We are trapped here. Understand the fact, and when you understand that you're trapped on the earth, there's no escape from it. The only escape is death. Yeah. And you know death is guaranteed. So you can be happy then. Then you know that you don't have to invent any technology to escape the earth. Oh, that means we can spend all this nonsense effort that we're doing to get out of the earth to actually live well on the earth.
Feed people.
Wow. What a concept, huh? I mean, that's unfathomable. I mean, that's not right, because we need to leave the earth. Look at Elon Musk, how rich he is by wanting to leave the earth. Yeah, no morons. He's rich because he's made you want to leave the earth. He knows he can't go anywhere. What a bunch of nonsense. Yeah. I mean, like, you just can't make this stuff up. It is beyond understanding how people fall for this nonsense. I mean, the other day we were talking that, the act of believing that the earth is a spinning ball has to be taught. You won't believe it unless someone taught you. If you're told where you are, you would say, yeah, it's a flat plane and looks like there's a dome above us. That's exactly what it looks like when you look up, a dome.
Hmm.
That's exactly how you picture, because your vision can only create a dome. Do you know that?
Wow.
What do you mean, wow? Do you know that? Do
I
you
did
know
not.
why? Do you know why your vision can only create a dome? Think about it a little. Let me
Hmm.
unlock your intellectual cells, yeah, brain cells.
Because we can only see it that way.
No, but yeah, that's like, why?
I'm
Because
sorry.
we can. That's not an answer.
Hmm.
That's a cop out.
Because of the way the eyes are designed.
I mean, that's also like a cop out. Why?
Okay.
Why? I
Why?
mean, there's a reason why.
I don't know.
Okay, because your eye can see a certain distance in any direction. So try and see from flat all the way up to back. You will see the same distance. So it will look like a dome. It
Yeah.
will feel like it's a dome around you because your eye can only see a certain distance, and that is the vanishing point. So if you go all the way around, it will be a circle. If you go up, it will be a dome around you, the same distance. Like this is the distance. If I put this is how far you can see. So when you go up, what does it make? An arc.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why you see a dome above. It's not a dome, obviously. We don't know what it is. I mean, it is a
But
dome,
but
but we
remember
don't know the shape of it.
but
We don't know the shape of this dome.
when Zan, your son, talked about the rainbow,
Yeah.
don't we actually exactly see the dome?
Yeah, but I don't know how the rainbow is made either. That's a
Ach-
perception as well. I mean, obviously, that is an illusion complete. The rainbow is a complete illusion put off in front of you as an arc. Yeah,
Mm,
but the dome itself, nobody knows how it is. Can
mm,
you explain to me how you can prove there's an actual dome which is a hemisphere above us? Can you prove that? I can't prove it. So I can never tell you what this dome actually is. There's a dome above us, like a dome covering, not a dome hemisphere. There's a dome covering us from all sides. Yeah. But what is the shape of this dome? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows except God and the angels and the spirit and some who have that knowledge. But I don't think anybody on the earth really knows what this dome is up there. Yeah. So that's why we see it as a dome, because our eyes can only see an X amount of distance. So when you look around, it'll be a circle around you. When you swivel around the axis you're on, like go around in a circle where you're standing, you'll see a circle around you. Obviously, because your eye can only see an X amount of distance. Of course, if you have unlimited terrain in front of you. I mean, if you have mountains, that's as far as you can see. Then it won't be a circle. The mountain will stop your vision, right? I mean, these are obviously no sensical, commonsensical things. I'm saying it has to be a infinite in our sense. As far as the eye can see, must be open for you, and you will see a circle around you, and you will see a dome above you. If you're in the middle of the sea, that's what you're going to see. I've been there. I've seen it. Anyway, went off
yeah.
topic there. We're coming
So
back to
no, I
Abraham.
just wanted to also put it out there that people can join us. We put the link in the chat, and I've reached out to my friends, and on my stupid little Facebook page, I had about like 3,000 people, and I'm not saying this to bullshit or boast. I'm saying this, that out of those 3,000, not even one, not even one guy, so called friends, had the balls or the guts, excuse my language, to come and ask you. And behind your back, these are the ones who've been cussing, screaming, and saying all this shit about you and about God and his books and his messengers. And now, when the time is here and I reach out to them, no one, not a single man or woman, had the balls or the guts or the courage to come and defend their own statements by calling you liar and calling God all these names and calling the Quran all these names. I have challenged and invited openly every single person that I know in these social networks, and not one person has been able to come. So again, I would like to invite you all, don't be afraid of this guy, be afraid of your Lord if you believe in him.
No, they don't. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And they
So
have no
and
knowledge.
yeah,
They have
so
no knowledge. To argue with me, you have to know something, right? They know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. All they know are nonsensical, fabricated, ludicrous lies about the God they think they believe.
or they not believe, because those who say ex-Muslims, I want to tell them, you were never a Muslim. How can you be an ex-Muslim?
I mean, you can say that from the ex these Muslims, yeah, because they call themselves Muslim. You have to understand, nobody knows what a Muslim is, and knew until I told them what a Muslim is, and
Hmm,
then they say what? Nobody knew what Islam was until I told them in this generation.
hmm,
You know, if you ask someone, Islam says this, Islam, this is Islamic, and Islam says this, and in Islam we do this. Nonsense, complete nonsense. There's no such thing as Islam tells you this or that. It's God who tells you to do things. It's his book that tells you to do things. It's his messenger and prophet that tells you to do things. And then you do it without question if you know what's good for you. Yeah. But no, they will do the things people tell them to make them rich and famous on the earth. The Satan beautifies to them their deeds. And the Satan makes it beautiful to them. So they fall for the life of the world. And they are oblivious over the hereafter. which is after their death. They all want this life. No one wants a hereafter because no one can believe there is a hereafter. That's the end of it. So there's nothing that's going to help these people when they reject the hereafter and they make stories, fantasies, you know, garbage, nonsense lies about God and his messengers and his book, and they never read the book. I mean, if you are going to argue with me about the book of God, which is the Quran, you better know written in it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to argue with me. And don't bring your nonsense from outside. You got to argue with what's written in it. You don't come with the mathematical theorems and bring your theorems from outside to prove them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's not the way it is. You don't look at the laws of physics, which are nonsense, by the way, and then you bring your own laws from outside to prove those laws, yeah, or disprove them. They're intrinsic in the book they're written in. Read that book and figure it out. Yeah, the examples that are in that book, the mathematical. So the same thing applies to the Quran. If you want to deny the Quran, then you bring me what it says and deny it from within there. You won't be able to, or deny me from what I say. You won't be able to, guaranteed. Yeah, and I say that they will with their thoughts because their thoughts are full of lies. So they will obviously win with their thoughts. Yeah, but that's the biggest loss you can achieve by
Yeah,
winning with your thoughts.
yeah, and then they will look like ridiculous idiots more than they are when they do that, because they will be destroyed by the truth.
It
Uh,
always does.
it's
The truth
always
is
done.
made to destroy the lies, and the truth cannot be overcome. Yet you
Yeah.
can overcome me. I mean, I am not the truth. I am the truthful. I'm
Mm,
telling you the truth. You cannot destroy the words coming out of my mouth that are the truth. You can
mm,
destroy me. That's why they kill the messenger. They don't want to listen to the truth. To stop the words coming out of my mouth, they have to kill me. And when they kill me and I'm gone and it stops, they're happy. Thank
mm,
God, he's gone. We
mm,
won. We won. We killed him. We don't have to listen to his nonsense anymore.
mm.
This is why
Then,
they kill the messengers and the prophets. They hate what they're being told. Their
mm,
souls hate what is being brought to them. And thus they end up
yeah,
um, finding themselves killing the messenger and prophet and being happy after that
and then
for a
see what
little while.
happens to them after that. Yeah,
For a little while
yeah,
until the destruction comes and they don't understand why it came over them until
yeah.
they die and they see, oh yeah, there you will see, oh no, you won't see, oh, you won't say, oh, you'll say, oh no, I screwed up. In Arabic the word is inna kunna zalimin. This is what everyone is going to say when the punishment hits them. Surely we were wrongdoers. Yeah, you will accept this that day, don't you worry. Don't you? It's just like when you're caught really red-handed, no defense. You say, "Ah, I'm the wrongdoer." Yeah. Before that, you will steal and you will wiggle your way out of any nonsense you will do without accepting fault. The day you are caught red-handed, you will say, "Okay, I'm a wrongdoer. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm sorry." That's the only time the man will ask for excuse when he has no way to wiggle out of his nonsense. Yeah. This is how everybody works. If you look
Yeah.
at it, this is how every man works, not me. I don't work like that. I've never worked like that. Yeah, of course, I've done some of that, but I see everyone doing this every day in my life. I don't do that. Yeah, once in a while, I'll use that trick as well to get out, wiggle out of my flaws by feigning ignorance. We all do that once in a while. Yeah, like Abraham even lied to them. No, 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 I didn't destroy these idols. Yeah, ask the big one. He did. Ask them. The big one killed him, destroyed them. Yeah. So this is of course that was tongue in cheek and he meant to deceive them. That's why he said it,
Mm,
to make them look like retards, which they already were, and then they realize that, and then they try to kill him. Yeah. After that, and God said to the fire, be coolness over and peace over Abraham. The guy was thrown in the furnace and he came out alive. I mean, this is the guy we're talking about. Yeah. And they think that's just metaphorical. Some of the moronic retards who hold the Quran say that's just metaphorical. It didn't
mhm,
really happen. It was the metaphorical fire God saved him
mm,
from. It wasn't actually a revival. While in the Quran it said they built a furnace. They told him to build a furnace and burn him in there. I mean, that was just metaphorical, right? They just said to the people, they metaphorically said, build a furnace and burn it in him, foundation, and make a building and put him in there and burn it. That was just metaphorical, yeah.
They would read Harry Potter and How to Kill a Mockingbird and Salman Rushdie's garbage
Hmm.
and everyone else's garbage, but they would not pick up even just as a storybook to read the Quran. They wouldn't want to, even though they can go and pick up Shakespeare, but they won't do that because, like what you're saying, and like what you've always said to us, to be truthful. And most of us will not like the truth and will reject the truth when it comes to us, and thus the book is absolutely truthful, because everything, like you were saying yesterday in the show also, everything the book is saying is mirroring right in front of our eyes, exactly ditto. And
Hmm.
even if we go read in the historical bullshit that happened on this earth, even the book will confirm that also, what each generation has been doing in the past. But moving on from Father Abraham to uh, a Muhammad, your brother. And this is a
Our
or
brother, if you're of those who believe, he's your brother as well.
okay. So
I mean,
shall we?
like what? Is not Abraham your father? If you don't have to be a
a-
messenger or a prophet to have
Absolutely.
Abraham as your father. If you are in your heart of those who believe, this is where you need to be a congruent with the reality. If you are, then he's our brother. Muhammad is
Alhamdulillah.
our brother. If you are of those who believe, you don't have to be equal to me
Hmm.
for Muhammad to be your brother. I don't have to be equal to you for Muhammad to be my brother, except that we must be of those who believe. Otherwise, being a Muslim does not make you a brother of Muhammad. Oh, these guys are going to be on fire now, huh?
Yeah, it's the
What?
truth.
What are you talking about? Yeah, to be a Muslim, you don't need to know Muhammad. Absolutely, totally,
Yeah. So
without a doubt, you do not need.
yeah, you want to clarify, explain that a
You do
little bit?
not need to know Muhammad to be. I've already said what a Muslim is. You don't need to know Muhammad to be a Muslim. You do not need to believe Muhammad is a messenger of God to be a Muslim. You don't. I've said this in many episodes. They can go listen to. I'm not going to explain it right now. You know it. Why? If they want to know it, they can listen to the other episodes of it. They've got all over the place. Yeah, a Muslim is one who submits to the Lord God. That's it. Period. He doesn't need to know the Quran. A Muslim does not need to know Jesus or Muhammad or Moses or Noah or anybody else. Anyone, no one. A Muslim is actually a retard in the realm of God. Yeah, the cadet, the
Hmm.
trainee. How do you call it?
Intern.
The initiate.
The
Yeah, the intern, the initiate. Yeah, the initiates. They have their secret societies where they have their initiates. Yeah, a Muslim is just an initiate. He knows nothing. He arrives with the understanding that there's an unseen God who controls everything and he submits to him, period. Then, if he starts uttering garbage about God, he goes right back into the fire. And that's where you need the Quran to know everything else that you need to know to be of those who believe, a believer, and all the messengers and everybody know the same thing, just they know more of it. That's all. So understand these things. This is all nonsense. Islam is just submission. Islam is submission. That's what it means. And in the context of God, is submission to God and to His will, which is the command of His Spirit, the angels, the books, the messengers, the prophets, fundamentally. Messengers more than the prophets. Yeah. So this is how it works. If they don't like it, they can go suck on a lemon. I don't care.
okay. So you want to talk about brother Jesus first or brother Muhammad?
Whatever, whichever one you want to choose.
Brother
What would you want to
Jesus.
know about Muhammad? Like Muhammad,
Hmm.
I opened the book. Like you opened the book, you got Abraham's story.
Yeah.
I opened the book before I came up to do the thing, and I opened it on the chapter Muhammad. I opened the book and it opened on chapter 47, Muhammad. You
So
know,
let.
Muhammad is a messenger of the God, doubtlessly, absolutely surely. He is seal of the prophets. Some morons, retards, imbeciles, self glorying nut jobs say he is the seal of the messengers. He ain't no seal of the messengers. If you tell me that he's seal of the messengers, then you bring that sign from the Quran to me and I'll accept it. And if you can't, then you go jump off a cliff or accept that you're wrong. Don't tell me your nonsense. Don't tell me that he is seal of the messengers. He's not. He's seal of the prophets. Okay, he is a messenger of God. He is a prophet of God. No doubt about it. Yeah, but he's seal of the prophets, not the messengers. Okay, and that doesn't mean he's the last prophet. Let's go back to the idea that because he's the seal of the prophets, it makes him the last prophet or end of the prophets. If you look up the word seal, it does not mean end. Seal is at the end of the bottle. It doesn't mean that nothing's going to come out of the bottle. All the sealing of all prophecy and the prophets is in the Quran. I mean, how many prophets and messengers have you learned about reading
Many.
the Quran? And they're all about those before him. It's not about Muhammad. The Quran is not about Muhammad. This is the absolute fact. That's why they had to invent all the nonsense to make him God, yeah, outside the Quran. Because the Quran is not about Muhammad. It's about all those before him, and especially Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, especially, and others, obviously. But these have been clarified absolutely what happened to them, Moses and Jesus, to clarify and correct the nonsense that the Jews and the Christians and the so called Muslims spread about our brothers Moses and Messiah Jesus. So that's why Muhammad came, if you want to ask me. He came to reiterate what has happened, clarify what you've been hiding from the book of God. And now I come to clarify what you've been hiding from the book of God, which Muhammad brought. It's the same thing. It's not like you haven't hidden the words of God in the Quran. You have hidden them. You've mutilated them. You have literally poo pooed on them. Yeah. You have squatted and shat on them. And you kill the ones who denigrate the Quran by burning it while you have shat on it. The so called Muslims, I'm talking about, not you in general, you, but you as a general, the people out there who hold this book. And you have the authority to hold someone accountable for burning the Quran for some reason, which God hasn't told you to do in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I haven't been given the authority to go kill people if they don't believe Muhammad is the messenger of God, or that they mock Muhammad, or that they mock Jesus, or that they mock Moses, or that they mock Abraham or God Himself or His angels. Where has that authority come to you? Who has given you that authority? Even if you have the power, the only thing they have is power. They have no authority. Yeah. I have the authority to tell you this, and I have the power to tell you this. I don't have the power or authority to kill you. Well, I might have the power, but I have no authority. And since I have no authority, I will not exercise my power if I have it, you know, if I have it. But these people, they will exercise their power without any authority, especially your leaders. All they have is power. They've usurped authority by making you follow them.
They're none of my leaders, by the way, just to cut. You are the one who's
No, no,
leading.
but I'm talking to
So,
you, not you. I'm talking
okay.
to the world here.
Okay, I'm
Why do you
sorry.
put yourself in the same thing?
Okay, because I hate them.
Yeah, they're hateable, they're detestable, they're satanic, they're Satans, they're demons, they're satanic demons, they're satanic men, they're Satan demons, they're Satan men, the leaders on the earth, most of them. Yeah. I mean, I can't say all of them, but I would be surprised if there's one who's not. I haven't met him yet, you know. Some might be, but I have to meet them and talk to them to understand if they have any kind of faith proper, and say, okay, you're not one of the satanic ones. Wow, how did you manage to get here? Yeah, how did you manage to get into power today? Yeah, what's the backstory here? Can you explain? Because if you can't, then you're a Satan, you're trying to deceive me. Did you understand?
Hmm.
This is how it works. This is how it works, man. I mean, it's the reality is right in front of us. We just decide and choose not to. So these, they've taken them as their leaders and follow them, and they make them the people who are supposed to have authority because of some paper signed by some moron. Yeah. Just because you sign a paper and make yourself a king doesn't make you king, you know. So this is what's going on the earth. They're taking their kings, queens, prime ministers, presidents, military leaders, their politicians, their scientists, yeah, and then after that, the leaders of faith, who are all Satans or satanic as well, and they give them authority. They give them the authority, and they let them rule over them, thinking they're taking them to the right path. And this statement that I really detest, they're taking them down the garden path or up the garden path, is a statement, a parable, a metaphor they use to explain being taken down the wrong path today, where the garden path is the actual right path. That's the path I've come to take you on, to the path of the garden. I am here to take you down the real garden path, or take you up the real garden path, not the way they explain it. So basically, anyone who says, "Hey, I'm come here to take you to the garden," he's wrong. They've put it already in their psyche that anyone
Mm.
who's taking you down the garden path or up the garden path is taking you down the wrong path. How they invert reality. Yeah. And they're taking them down the path of hell, and they happily join, like the Pied Piper is taking them into the salvation of their souls. Yeah. It is like unfathomable how deluded mankind really is. Yeah. So Muhammad came after Jesus. Coming back to Muhammad, and he is supposed to be the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate, which today in the morning God inspired to me, that proved to me that Muhammad is the prophet, the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate from the Quran. And I'm like, I can't prove it. So I go through all the signs which I have in my heart, and I go back and forth, and I'm like, there's no certainty of that, reading those signs, that he is the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate. It doesn't point to him directly. It doesn't.
I remember once you said that aren't we all illiterates until God guides us?
Yeah, but like we're talking about this messenger that the Quran is talking about. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
like Muhammad was also that, and so was Moses. We're talking about the messenger. And do you know when this information was brought to mankind, that there will be a messenger, a prophet, illiterate that will come? Do you recall?
No.
Okay, so it was brought to Moses first. So let me bring this up in chapter 7. Yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to this now. Now I'm going to make sure you see it. Huh? Okay, so let's go here. So here, when Moses took the 70 men to the meeting with God, when they were put to death and God brought them back alive, yeah. So Moses, after that, said, I'm not going to give you the whole thing. This is where it starts, yeah. So this Moses talking to God, and write to us in this the world good, and in the hereafter surely we guided to you. He's talking to God, and God responds, my punishment I send with it one I wish, and my mercy encompasses everything. But soon I will write her to those they fear, and they bring the purity, and those they with our signs they believe. So who are those? Those they will follow the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate, the one They will find him written with them in the Torah and the Injil. He will command them with the goodness, and he will stop them over the weirdness, and he will allow to them the good, and he will forbid over them the wickednesses, and he will lower over them their strictness and the binds which they are over them. So those who believe with him, and they honor him, and they help him, and they follow the light which sent down with him, those they the prosperous. So how can you tell me this has to be Muhammad with this sign? Can you explain?
I have no at all idea now
There
when
is
you
no direct reference to being,
no.
and it's in the Torah and Injil. You cannot find Muhammad and Muhammad written in the Torah and Injil today, right? This
Mm.
also tells you that whoever it is will come after the Injil. So it has to be after Jesus. That's clear. And this was told to Moses before, like thousands of years before, before Jesus came. You have to understand that this was told way, so everything was already written what was going to happen in this sense, yeah. So
Mm.
now you can obviously interpret that since the light, which is the Quran, it doesn't even call it the Quran, it says the light. You have to interpret that the light is the Quran, yeah, and it came down over Muhammad, so he's the one, yeah. But what if that light is supposed to come down to someone after Muhammad and he's going to be the illiterate messenger? Isn't that
Hmm.
also possible?
Of course, absolutely. I was
So
about to
there you
say
go.
that.
So it applies to all those who
Yeah.
come after Muhammad. They're all the same messenger, prophet,
Yeah.
illiterates, all of us. I may not be a prophet, yeah, so I'm not going to be in this context. It has to be a messenger and prophet who will come, and he also has to be illiterate. I am certainly illiterate before the book was brought to me. 100%. I knew nothing, and nobody taught me, so I'm illiterate for them, right? Taught by God, and I'm a messenger. Whether I'm a prophet or not, I don't know. I can't tell you I am, and I today I can't tell you I'm not. I don't know. I'm a hypocrite in that sense, yeah. So then somebody is told to say, "O you, the mankind, surely I, messenger of the God to you all together, the one, to him kingship of the heavens and the earths, no God except he gives life and he gives death. So believe with the God and his messenger, the prophet, the illiterate, the one. He believes with the God and his words. And follow him. Maybe you be guided. So now if this is only saying I'm a messenger of God to you altogether, not a
Mm.
prophet. You understand? So
Mm.
this can be said by any messenger who is not a prophet. So I can say this 100%. I'm a messenger to all of you in front of me.
Mm.
Just because it says I'm a messenger to you all together doesn't mean everyone before me,
Mm.
the ones in front of me.
Mm.
And every messenger that has come before me is also a messenger to all of mankind, no doubt in it. How can they not be a messenger to all mankind? Them, every messenger that has come. How
Mm.
can they not be?
Absolutely.
They are. Because those are the words delivered by the messenger who comes after them or who comes from behind them. They are the same word, so obviously so he see how this all destroys their nonsensical interpretations and understandings. It
Mm.
destroys everything. Now let me give you an example here. So if I am the messenger, the prophet, even after Muhammad, I can say all of this, and I'm not the illiterate one, yeah, but I'm just the messenger or a prophet. Or even if I'm the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate after Muhammad, who is the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate as well.
Mm.
Eh? I will tell all mankind, I'm a messenger to you, and I will continue. This would be my statement. Muhammad couldn't say this. So
Mm.
believe with God and his messenger, the prophet, the illiterate, the one he believes. No, he won't be saying this. I can say it for Muhammad.
Mm.
Now look at this. If Jesus comes, he will tell you this, all of it. The whole sentence will be Jesus. He is the messenger of all mankind when he comes,
Mm.
obviously. So he says
Mm.
all of this, and he tells you to believe with the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate. Yeah.
Mm.
So which one is this? Is it Muhammad or is it the one who's going to be here when he comes?
Every one of them.
whichever one, but it has to be a messenger prophet,
Yeah.
illiterate. So it starts with Muhammad. I believe he is the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate. Yeah. And they say it's him, believe with him. So him could be some other messenger prophet illiterate. It doesn't have to be just Muhammad.
Mhm.
See how this continues. Any argument you give, you will not be able to push it back that it could be him and others.
Mhm.
Just because it's him here doesn't mean it's only him. Yeah, just when you say told that believe with him, the messenger doesn't have to be one messenger. It could be any messenger,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
all this stuff is for people who have some understanding. Yeah. So do you see how this destroys whatever you've been taught, uh,
Everything.
and what they say out there? Obviously, completely it destroys their whole um, a mantra. Yeah, their
Yeah.
whole mo is completely destroyed. Now, if I just want to finish this here with this chapter 48,
That's why, for people
47.
watching, it's imperative to pick up the majestic reading, because in other translations I've seen they put brackets and put Muhammad's name over there,
I
I
mean, they
think.
put brackets wherever they want. When it says, "Oh, you the messenger," in brackets with Muhammad, why? God hasn't written. Who has
Y-
given you the right to write it over God? This is where they're going to go to hell. Yeah. So this in chapter 47, which is titled Muhammad, and those who believe and do the righteousness and believe with what's sent down over Muhammad and it the truth from their Lord will be rejected over them their evils and righted their conditions. So this is the Quran. Obviously, this is where you interpret the Quran has been sent over Muhammad, obviously. Yeah. And every other messenger after him gets the Quran. And now let's wrap this up with chapter 98. Saying that Jesus is brought was the only messenger who was brought with two books. He will be the only one brought with three books when he
Mhm.
comes back.
Mhm.
He will read all these three books to us, including the Quran. And this is where it says, "Not will they will those reject from keepers of the book and the partnering to be running till she comes to them, the clarity. Messenger from the God, he reading scriptures pure, in them books constant." Okay, he will read the Torah, the Injil, and the Quran. Okay, so that's where I wanted to stop it here as far as Muhammad's story goes. And if you have any other questions,
I mean,
we can
like you've
talk
always
more.
been saying for the past decade, you've been saying, "Man, we need a week to talk about each
Yeah,
one of
this, I mean, like
them."
this stuff is too deep. And what I've said, most people will go right over their heads. Yeah.
they can
About
they can play it again
10,000
and
feet.
again.
Huh?
They can play it again and again
Yeah,
to
they will not
understand,
understand. They can play it 1,000 times, they will not understand because
or they
their
can
heart
contact
are
you.
shielded from the truth. If your hearts are in shields, you will not understand. And you
Mm.
don't believe anything and your hearts are diseased and your soul is corrupted. How are you going to believe? You're not going to believe. You have to let go of your nonsense to actually believe. I had to let go of it. It's painful. Trust me. And the older you are, the harder it gets. Absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
what else about Muhammad would you like to know or
I
would like
think
them to know?
I think this should be enough, and I think that Jesus. My recommendation would be for next episode,
Oh,
so
we
that
can talk a bit about Jesus. Why not?
you think so. You're okay.
I mean, are you okay?
I'm absolutely bombarded with information that I can't even fathom. It's like I'm trying to understand and calibrate at the same time. But you're okay to
Yeah,
talk
I
about
mean, we can
Jesus?
let's talk a little about Jesus. I
Okay,
mean,
then I'm
Jesus
good.
fundamentally, uh, Jesus fundamentally is a messenger of God and a prophet of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is this.
When you mention Jesus, you always mention this full. Uh, you give him the full title. What is
Yeah, yeah.
exactly that?
I'm coming to that. Don't worry.
Okay.
I won't let that go.
Okay.
So, he is the son of Mary. Mary is his mother. The highest, unequivocally, the highest woman ever to have lived and will ever live on this earth. The highest. Absolutely. No doubt. Purified by God. Yeah, and bestowed with the honor of bearing the Messiah Jesus. son of Mary, messenger of the God, his word, a prophet and a pure man. He is pure. The word is zakiyun. When this is zakat is charity is nonsense. Zakat is purity. And he is zakiyun. Isa, Jesus, is pure. There's no other messenger I know who is pure. So if you want to talk about a holy prophet, that's Jesus. I don't know of any other holy prophet. Yeah. They are holier than us, but they're not holy absolute. Yeah. They get to a level of holiness. But Jesus is born absolutely pure and holy, infallible, word of God. He speaks the book. Any word coming out of Jesus' mouth is the book of God. That's the level he's given to him. Yeah. And he will be a witness over all the keepers of the book. Why? Because he will witness all of them when he comes. And so will Muhammad. He will be a witness over the keepers of the book as well. But Jesus is written clearly. He will be the witness over them the day we stand in front of God. All the keepers, including the ones who hold the Quran and the Injil, the Bible, and the Torah. So he will be their witness that day in front of God. And he was born without a father. The Holy Spirit, Gabriel, he was sent by God to blow Jesus into the womb of Mary. That's what he did. And that story is clear in the Quran. You can read it in chapter 3 and chapter 19. Absolutely clear. No doubt in it. And uh, he was born as a prophet. He spoke from the cradle. He announced that he is a prophet of God, and God has brought him the book, and he is blessed where what he be while he lives. And the peace is over him. A day he was born, a day he will die, and a day he'll be brought out alive again. So this is all he said that from the cradle. So, he can't walk, but he can talk, and he can tell you he's the messenger of God. So, these things are laughable to people who don't believe, and laughable to us as well because we believe. It's all a joke. I mean, the whole life is a joke. Yeah, you got to understand it in that sense that God can do anything he wants. I mean, he can make you into a baby from 100-year-old, and he can make you 100-year-old from a baby in an instant if he wants. I mean, he made men into pigs and men into apes. Yeah, they tell you that they're going to change your DNA to do it. God just says, be, and you are. They have to finagle with the DNA and the genome and give you shots and vaccinations, all this other nonsense to change your DNA and make you into something else. God just says, be, and you are that. It's that simple for him. Yeah. And when they're afraid of how did he part the seas, I mean, how is he holding up the ocean above us with the dome? I mean, what is parting the sea for him? He's got a whole ocean above you, which is far bigger than the ocean beneath you. What is wrong with these people? Yeah. They just don't see the reality in front of them because they've been blinded to it. So this was Jesus, and they made fun of him. That I mean, like, what is he? Like they made fun of everyone else as well. They just like making fun of people who they can't understand. This is the way of man. When you can't understand something, you make fun of him, and when we see you not understanding us, we make fun of you. It's all the same, man. I mean, like, if you make fun of me, what do you expect? I'm gonna just sit here and not do anything? I'm gonna make fun of you as well. Why shouldn't I? I mean, you're allowed to make fun of me, but I'm not allowed to make fun of you. You are arrogant to me by rejecting God, and I can't be arrogant to you for rejecting God. I mean, what kind of nonsense is this?
Hmm.
Where do you guys come from with this nonsense? Where does
And
this thing come out of in your souls? How does it come out of your souls? And you tell us, hey, talk to us nicely. You got to convince people to believe. Oh, no, that's not my job. I mean, if that was my job, I'd be committing suicide soon. That is not my job to make you people believe. It's your job to make yourself believe all the nonsense you want to believe. And if you want to believe sense, you better follow me. You better listen to me. You better obey me if you can't believe. If you can't believe, then just obey me. You'll be fine. Probably. I'm not saying for sure, by the way. I can't tell you that. If you believe and obey me, you will be fine. But to obey me, you got to change yourself. Like I had to change myself to obey God and his messengers, every single one of them. I obey every single messenger of God, so I submit to all of them. Obvious. I mean, like if you obey somebody, you're submitting to them, right? I mean, this is obvious, correct?
Mm.
I mean, is there any doubt in this statement that when you obey someone, you're submitting to them?
No,
Clear? Are you sure?
absolutely. Yeah.
If I
For
find
them,
some,
it might be like they might be having their jaws on the floor. What does he mean? But that's
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
because when your principal tells you to get up and walk, you're not submitting to him,
Yeah.
huh? What kind of nonsense are these people on? Which drug are they snorting today?
Pride,
Yeah, which which Mary and Joanna are they having today? Yeah. So
arrogance without the truth.
they're smoking a drug which is taking them down this path. And that drug is self glory. Self glory. Man is a boaster of the highest possible potential. Yeah. We are all boasters. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not, but I boast the truth. Yeah. While the others boast their nonsense. But the issue is that man has to boast something. Yeah. That's why we have all this nonsensical stuff people do to feel like they're worth something. Yeah. Like, I want to eat 50 sausages in 30 minutes. Yeah. I'm going to die after that, but I'll be remembered for that. I'll be remembered for that. I mean, come on. I did something. I ate 50 sausages in 30 minutes. Write me in that book. What do you have, that record book? Yeah, put me
Guinness
in there.
Book
Yeah.
of Bullshit
I don't care
Record
if I die, but make sure you put me in that book because I want to be remembered for
with,
that.
with a dead
I'm
picture.
something. That will be my boasting. Even when I die, the world will remember me. Yeah. I want to leave a mark on this world. Don't worry. You'll leave a mark on this world. Every one of us will, because that's the mark God will bring us out with on that day. The mark we leave on the earth. So, I mean, this is all total nonsense they do. Yeah. Anyway, so coming back to Jesus now. So, Jesus, and he was not crucified, he was not killed. He was taken away by God when they wanted to kill him, the sons of Israel, the so called Jews. Yeah. The Jewish part of the sons of Israel, who were Jews at that point, right? The sons of Israel had changed from believers to Jews when Jesus came. And when Jesus came, a part of them believed with Jesus, and the rest rejected. And those that rejected are still called Jews. The rest are called Christians. And they're all sons of Israel who are from the line of Jacob, um, the son of Isaac. Yeah. I lost you there. Are you back?
I'm back, and you are
Yeah,
still
you got
frozen.
lost. You got lost. Your connection
Oh,
got broken.
oh, that's so weird. And here saying that I lost that you were not there. Weird.
No, anyway, we're back.
But your
Anyway,
your screen is frozen. If yeah, now it's okay.
all right. Can you see me?
Yeah,
Okay, so where were we? Yeah, son. He's the son of Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph is the son of Jacob and his 11 brothers, the sons of Israel. From them are all the tribes and the sons of Israel down to Jesus, including Jesus. Jesus is also a son of Israel as well as a son of Abraham. So all this is the absolute truth about him, and he's gone, and he will come back when the time comes. And the time comes closer as we go towards the end of this whole sequence. And when that happens, we will see, we'll come and read these three books and confirm to you that what I'm telling you is the absolute truth, just like what Muhammad said before me. And having said that, I do believe that when Muhammad was here, the ability for him to communicate on the earth was similar to us. He wasn't sitting in any cave sending out smoke signals. Yeah. I
Hmm.
don't believe that at all. They had the ability to communicate similar to our ability. Because come on, how can you be a messenger announcing to the whole mankind that you are if they can't listen to you?
Hmm.
He announced to all of them, unless, like I said, he wasn't that one that is supposed to say all to all mankind. You see, understand? But it
Hmm.
doesn't matter. It can be both ways. I'm just trying to say
So,
that it
so it
can be that
so
there's
it could.
another messenger that again also Jesus said that there's a messenger who's going to come after him whose name will be Ahmad. Yeah, and they immediately, that's Muhammad. How can you immediately relate that guy to Muhammad when the guy is called Ahmad by Jesus in the Quran and Muhammad is called Muhammad in the Quran? So how can you just, no, no, that's the same guy. So any Ahmad walking on the earth, I can say you're Muhammad today. If I
Mhm.
say your name is Ahmad, I know you, hey Muhammad, what are you going to tell me? My name is Ahmad. You're not going to say, okay, you can call me Muhammad, right? Yes, it could be another name for Muhammad, just like Jacob is called Israel. Yeah, but there's no evidence of that. Whereas there is an evidence for Jacob being called Israel in the Quran, there is no evidence for Muhammad being called Ahmad in the Quran. So it could be another messenger. It could be. I'm not
Mhm.
saying it is for sure, but it certainly could be. It's a possibility. So all these things you leave alone when you don't understand. You don't make connections to perpetuate your nonsensical lie about what is going on. You leave it be. You say we don't know. Because when you say you know about something, then you get stuck in there. Then you cannot get out of it. And to give it up takes a lot of pride killing, yeah? That you're
Mhm.
wrong, which is the biggest problem with mankind. That they cannot seem to accept their faults. When they are presented the clear evidence that it is a fault, they're unable, they're incapable, they are without capacity to say I'm wrong. And that is their Achilles heel to the hilt. So never accept anything clearly unless you know, or understand that when you're proven wrong, you better accept it. You better be ready to accept it. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a pit of misery, real misery. And that's where I've always been in my life. I don't care. I say I don't know most of the time. Even if I know something, I will say I don't know, but this is what I think. And when I know something, I say I know. The things I say about the Quran that I've been saying for what 12, 13 odd years, 15, if you'll go all the way back to 2007, I'll stand on those things, 99.99% of them. And I'll ask you, come from the Quran and prove me wrong. And Jesus, you cannot prove wrong 100% of the time. You might prove me wrong 1 out of 1,000. Jesus, you will never be able to prove wrong anything he says when he comes. Just like you won't prove any angel wrong, and you won't prove the spirit wrong, ever. And you won't prove this book wrong. This book is fundamentally what Jesus is going to be when he comes back. Like what the book says, he will be. And the book says what he is, actually. And when he comes, he will be that, and he will corroborate the Quran in ways no one else has in all the time from the time the Quran was sent down to today until Jesus returns. No one will be able to explain the Quran like Jesus because he knows a far more eloquent book than the Quran called the Bible and the Torah, which is higher than the Quran. Oh, they're going to shoot me now, right?
Mhm.
Well, what is wrong? The Quran is the leader. I mean, sorry, the Torah is the leader of these books. She is the leader, the Torah, clearly written in the Quran. The leader in mercy is the Torah. And
Mhm.
this book confirms it in tongue Arabic, the Quran. So it is obviously the leader as well, but that is the actual leader in mercy. These
Mhm.
all the Injil, the Bible is the leader in mercy as well, and so is the Quran metaphorically because they follow the real leader and mercy, which is the Torah that came to Moses.
But
The
they
original, the original, not what you see on the earth today,
Mhm.
obviously. So I think that's enough about Jesus. If you want some more, we can come next time, unless you have
Yeah,
a question.
this correct me if I'm wrong. Did Muhammad in the book talk about nation of Abraham true, that he belongs to that nation?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, let me bring this up
Yeah.
first. Let's share the tab and find out. Okay, so now this time I'm going to do it right, yeah? uh, okay, so let me search all of this. So these are the places where nation of Abraham is written in the Quran. There are 20 places in 19 signs, yeah?
Mhm.
So, and who he inclines over nation of Abraham, except one foolish to his soul. So now people, oh, so we're not supposed to incline? No, incline away over it, not towards it. Yeah, so people are just retarded. What can I say? And already we chose him in the world, and surely he in the hereafter to be from the righteous. And they say, be Jews or Christians, you will be guided. And the messenger says, which is Muhammad or me or any other messenger, or Jesus or Moses himself, but nation of Abraham true, and not is from the partnering. Then say, the messenger is commanded to say, truth of the God, but follow nation of Abraham true, and not is from the partnering. Then, and who better way from one who submits his face to God, and he beneficent, and follows nation of Abraham true, and took the God Abraham a friend. This confirms what we were talking about. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nobody's better than that. Nobody's better than submitting your face to God and being beneficent and following the nation of Abraham. What is the nation of Abraham? All of us, messengers, and all the believers and those who believe after us. We are the nation of Abraham. We don't have to have a land to live in. We belong to God, and all the land belongs to God. And then the messenger says, absolutely surely guides me my Lord to a highway constant, way constant, nation of Abraham true, and not is from the partnering. Then Joseph says to his companions in the prison, while he was in the prison, and like that he chooses you. Actually, no, this is not that. This is not that. I gotta go here.
Mm.
It's later. This is not it. This is not it. I think this is. So this is what Joseph said to his companions in the
Mm.
prison. Yeah, and I follow nation of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. Not is to us that we partner with the God from a thing, that from grace of the God over us and over the mankind. And but surely most of the mankind, not they thank. Get it? So the nation is not nation of is taking all this explanation as well. Yes, not 20 times. I was wondering. I didn't see it 20 times. Yeah. So there's another place, I believe. Yeah, here you go. Then we inspired to you. Who is this you? Me or Muhammad or any messenger or Jesus or Moses, any one of us. This is what's inspired to us. Follow nation of Abraham true, and not is from the partnering. God tells us. God tells us this.
So, what God inspires to you and you tell us, we follow, listen, and obey and repeat that?
Yep. I mean, repeat if you are in that position. You can't
That
repeat all
position.
the things the messenger
Yeah.
says. You can't say, I'm a messenger of God if
No.
you're not. I'm going to tell you I am. You
Mm.
can't say I am because you're not.
Mm.
If you are, then you can say it, but I don't see any one of you on the earth a messenger of God, let alone a believer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now this is the last place. I think this is the last one. And struggle in the God truth of his struggle. He chooses you and not makes over you in the way from problems. Nation of your father Abraham. He named you the Muslims. God named us the Muslims, by the way. From before and in this. So don't tell me Quran is the first time we were named Muslims. We've always been Muslims, everyone. To their being the messengers, witnesses over you, and you being witnesses over the mankind. So make constant the prayer and bring the purity and hold on with the God, He your protector, but blessed the protector and blessed the helper. So these are the signs of this book which completely destroy everything these morons utter outside the Quran, called the so-called Muslims, who are absolutely not Muslims. I reiterate, they are rejectors and they are partners or kafirs and mushriks, and they will burn in hell. All 1.5 billion of them, minus maybe 100 or so. I don't know, maybe 200. So basically, all of them are going to burn in the fire. The first ones to go into the fire right now, if the punishment of God arrives or the command arrives, are the so called Muslims. They will be the first ones to enter fire. Then he will look to the Christians and Jews on the earth. They will enter after that, and then the rest. But like 99 plus percent will burn in the fire right now if the command arrives today. Easily. I think that's very conservative on my part. I'm being very gracious. It's probably more than 99%.
Game over for the rest of us. So this uh, Jesus was not killed or crucified. He was
Uh,
raised by God to himself,
yep.
and he's returning.
He's returning. No doubt about it.
And the
In
Christians
my heart.
would hate that, and that's why they hate the Quran.
Yeah. I mean, Christians don't hate that. They say he's coming back, but they think he's God.
Mm.
The Muslims hate that because all their nonsense becomes total garbage when you see that. They will say, oh, no, no, when he comes back, he's not going to be a prophet. These people have said this.
Wow.
Can you imagine the the absolute insane
Wretchedness.
in the person who utters that? Can you imagine the person who says, no, 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 Jesus will no longer be a prophet. His prophethood ended way back then. Yeah, he
Wow.
will return and he will accept this Mahdi, some Mahdi that they create in their intellects, which is nonsense as well, total nonsense. And he will follow the Mahdi. Really, Jesus is going to follow someone else when he comes to the earth today. Even if Muhammad was here, Jesus would be the leader if he came, and Muhammad was here, not Muhammad. Jesus would be the leader. Yeah. And if he comes, when he comes again, yeah, he will be the leader.
Hmm.
How can anyone else be the leader unless Abraham is here when
No,
Jesus
no.
arrives? If Abraham is here, then no one else is going to be the leader. Even if Jesus is here and Muhammad is here and Moses is here and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and everyone and me and you and everyone else who's a believer or those who believe, how can anyone else be the leader when Abraham is here? Yeah, we're leaders under him. We will lead the rest of you, but we will not lead Abraham. He will lead us. Come on.
Hmm.
How do you come up with this nonsense?
Like
How can people come up with this nonsense? I don't understand this garbage.
when at the time of Moses and Aaron, Moses was the leader.
He had control over Aaron.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolute control.
Hmm.
So, I mean, what kind of nonsense do these guys utter?
Man,
It's just unfathomable.
these guys must be having a party in the hereafter, in the unseen, all
Oh,
these together.
I am the one who is behind them and not yet joined them, but they are rejoicing that I'm not, but I'm soon to join them.
Because that
They're
sign.
looking at me. I
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
I feel it. I feel them. They're waiting for me to join them in the unseen.
Hmm.
And no fear over me, and not will I grieve.
Praise to the God.
So
Praise to
wait, it's coming. It's coming over these people. They will feel the heat soon, and they've rejected God enough. The end is coming for them. None of this nonsense is going to make it anywhere except to hell with them altogether. That's all I see in front of them.
And on that note, we should hopefully catch again
Yeah.
on the next episode. And I thank you for your time. And anything else you would like to add before we go?
No, well, I think we covered enough. I mean, like I said to you, I mean, if we start talking about this, there's no end to the discussions. Yeah.
There's none.
Read the book, and it will tell you all that I've told you.
Until then, peace.
Peace.